Hi everyone, I'm JD, welcome back to my channel. So this is a flip through of the journal that I made for my nephew. I've got two nephews. This one is Gibson, and yeah, their mum was happy for me to show you their photos of my nephew and niece, brother and sister here. Coming up I'll be showing a journal that I gave my niece, and there's some photos of her in it, so glad I got their permission, or her permission. This is the journal just out of the paper bag. So easy, and especially for kids to make a journal like this. I think it's a really great method of introducing them to junk journals. Really easy, really simple. This journal, it's really true junk journal, I suppose. All the pages are things around the house. Nothing in this journal was bought except for the cover, the paper bag. But yeah, the thread we just found around the house, the papers we found around the house, and the things that are included in it are real ephemera from my nephew Gibson's life, from lots of schoolwork. They had this whole folder, and my brother pulled it out and he just rifled through it, and I asked him what he wanted to include, and yeah, so it was really fun. And you just had to use whatever was around as filler papers, so we used some envelopes and things. And it was a nightmare trying to bind this because, I was like, alright, let's go get needles, because they have a needle set, but they're all like these tiny thin needles, but there was this giant one, but it was flat, and trying to put a flat needle through this wasn't working. So I'm like, okay, we need a nail and a hammer. And so there I was with a nail and a hammer trying to get the nail through. But as you see, there's one really thick card page that we used. It's kind of plastic, and in the end what I had to do was just get the nail and one by one stick it through each page separately. So it was a bit of a nightmare. And then the thread, like I said, the tiny thread needle was tiny, and getting the thread through the hole was, I'm amazed it actually worked. But then the thread as well was a bit of a problem, because you can't use just cotton because it's too thin. It'll cut straight through the pages, I think. So I found the thickest thread that I could find, and it's this, I don't know what you call it, but it's kind of like hairy. I don't know. And then you pull hairs off it, kind of thing. But I did test the strength and pull it. There was some other thick stuff, but it just pulled apart straight away. This stuff, no, you can't. It's like string. Anyway, so hopefully that will hold. So this is a picture of him on the cover, and his name, all again from that folder from his schoolwork. And let me try to do this with one hand. Just some work that he did from school that he wanted to include, and put it in the front pocket, and there's journaling space there then on the back. And yeah, all throughout his life this folder was, so from when he was a little kid to now he's 8, I think he is. So we've got a watermelon that he drew. Yeah, so some things we pulled out from his life that he's already done, and other things he did specifically for this journal. This was one of them. And this is some sand from his travels from his trip going around Australia. So that's pretty cool, the red sand. Oh, and this, okay, so we improvised. This was, it had no fancy little pockets, so we used, those file things that you put in a ring binder, and they're plastic folder things that you put sheets of paper in. So I had to cut these up into all different sizes and then sticky tape them together, and then just stapled that onto the page. Here's an envelope, and I wrote my nephew a letter, tucked it in there. This is some work that he did, artwork from when he was a kid. I mean, he's still a kid, but younger. Happy Father's Day. Flap of, this is just a brown paper bag from like a shop, when you buy something and they give you a bag. So cut that to make a page. This is that plastic. This was also from a gift bag, I think, or just going from to a shop and you get a bag to put things in. But it's quite thick, but really cool. Envelope, you can put stuff in there. He drew this picture. This is an apple leaf from his garden that we put in, so yeah, you can see that's the ring binder thing. That's from his schoolwork. A drawing of his dad that he did when he was younger. Envelope that you can stick things in here. This is some tracing paper, I think, that he did some schoolwork, and it was kind of fun to include this because the first day where I saw him when I was down in Melbourne, he showed me, he pulled this out of his bag, I think, from school, and was like, look what I made, look what I drew. So we included one of those in the journal, and it's Christmassy, so it's like documents Christmas as well. And this is also from his school book. We traced his hand and put the date. We always go every year to collect bottle caps and count them and everything from the footy oval once a year, so they collect up a lot. And he actually kept a few of the bottle caps and brought them out and chose 2 to include in the journal. So he just hit them with a hammer, and yeah, he did all this himself, and then he got a nail and hammered a hole through the thing, and then I stuck it in with some wool. That's a really cool memory. I've got to do that in my journal actually. So we're going to do it again this year, and I'll probably keep one for me. This is my niece. She did this for him and stuck that in there. This is a page pocket, and because we don't have glue or double-sided tape, it's just stapled. We're actually going to get glue and double-sided tape for my niece's journals and for my journals that I'm trying to make with the fairy ones. So more stuff. We did a maze for each other. He did one on one side and I did one on the other side, and we solved each other's mazes. This is some of his other artwork he did when he was younger, I think, from his school book. Folds out. And then, yeah, the other side. Here's a flower that he picked. Not sure if you can see that. Oh, sorry about the shadow. And we're going to go try and find a feather to stick in here too, and anything else we find that's interesting. Some schoolwork tucked into that pocket. This is another bottle cap. Really cool. This is his foot with the date. And we stuck in, sorry, this one flips out. We stuck in some wool because they were making pom-poms. So that's some of the wool from the pom-poms. Another envelope, we can tuck something in the top. Flip out here. This is a lock of their dog's hair. The dog is a Groodle, which is a golden retriever cross a poodle, in case you don't know the lingo, and her name is Alex. There's my foot. He traced my foot. This is a picture he did. He really likes birds. Good to know. So, lovely, colourful, bright bird there. Pocket here. That plastic page. More drawings. Another letter in here that my niece did for him. I don't actually know what she wrote. A 10-cent coin that he got from the Tooth Fairy. And this is a letter he wrote about himself, and I was prompting him. I was like, okay, write your age and write the names of your 2 dogs and write about our walk to get the bottle caps. He's like, what do I write? So yeah, lots of memories, and what he's going to do is go back in and write about the bottle cap here, and he'll write about each of the things that we stuck in. So where he got the sand from his trip around Australia, he knows the actual place name. He'll write, you know, apple leaf from the backyard or whatever. So yeah, that is his little journal. Alright, I hope you like it. And I'll be back and show you some other things. See ya!